Hello, beautiful people. I am back with another voice teacher reacts, and today we will actually be checking out Waving Through a Window from Dear Evan Hansen, and this is live on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Personally speaking, this is one of my favorite performances of this song, just in general. There are a lot of technique things to cover, I think, in this video, and this one's gonna be a good one. So oh, let me give a quick disclaimer before I forget. My name is CC Renee. I am a voice teacher. I do not claim to be the best, nor do I think that I'm the best. I am a very newbie teacher, and I feel like, well, I'm hoping at least that I could give you guys a different perspective on things. And yeah, just hope you guys enjoy the content. So without further ado, let's get into Waving Through a Window from Dear Evan Hansen.
I've learned to slam on the brake before I even turn the key, before I make the mistake.
I just want to say right off the bat, I mean, he's already in that forward placement, and repeatedly when he does those like ending words, he's already doing the scrunchy face technique. So it's like, I've learned to slam on the brake before I even turn the key. So he's doing it those last little words, and it's such a subtle flip, but it's pretty. It's very pretty.
Before I lead with the worst of me, give them no reason to stare. No slipping up if you slip away. So I got nothing to share. No, I got nothing to say. Step out of the sun if you keep getting burned.
So I can't speak for Ben Platt. I also just noticed his nails are done. I also just noticed that. And please, guys, correct me in the comment section if I'm using the correct pronouns. I'm honestly not too sure. So please let me know. But yeah, I just realized Ben's nails are done. I have seen this video so many times. Just realized nails are done. But also he is touching in like his diaphragm area, so to speak. That is his diaphragm area. And I know sometimes that means some people do that as a sense of kind of like telling where they're breathing from, making sure they're breathing in the correct area. And it's real subtle. You can just kind of do it on stage. But he sounds amazing.
Step out of the sun, because you've learned. On the outside, always looking in, will I ever be more than I've always been? Cause I'm tapping on the glass. I'm waving through a window.
Okay, so quite a few things actually. If you actually look when he's singing that first chorus we just heard, well, part of it, he's raising his eyebrows a lot. So on the outside, always looking in, will I? So he's lifting up on those higher notes. They're like, ever be more. That is another way people use tricks to like help think like, hey, I have to go up on this note, so I'm gonna raise my eyebrows, and like that kind of helps them think to go up. But I also want to focus on that the waving, that little waving through a window. That. So the way he says waving here, it's almost like a ooh waving. So like waving. And the more we get into the song, the more you might or might not notice it actually changes. So he starts when it's like a softer, it's just the waving, and he's in that forward placement while he does it. And I think that was just, it's a nice touch. It's nice subtle touches.
Try to speak but nobody can hear, so I wait around for an answer to appear while I'm watching people pass. I'm waiting through a window.
Okay, so off the bat, because we're going into more of a, I guess, a heavier section, like, you know, like the music's more in, so it's not as soft. You know, you can be a little bit more, not rugged, but you can come in a little bit stronger with this section. So it sounds like he's expanded his rib cage almost to kind of give a fuller sound. And if you notice, even when he did eyes, he's like, we start with stars in our eyes. So it's like, it was like eyes, if that makes sense. Eyes, like A-H kind of sound. Like he's rounding out his mouth a little bit more, and we're getting more harder hitting / stronger sounds and notes for this section of the song.
But every sun doesn't rise, and no one tells you where you went wrong. Step out of the sun if you keep getting burned. Step out of the sun because you've learned. Because you've learned. On the outside, always looking in. Will I ever be more than I've always been? Because I'm tapping on the glass, waving through.
So right here, because we're a little bit more, and like I said, in that stronger section, I didn't point this out before, but that first waving, he was actually in more of a mix / falsetto range of his voice. Right here, when he just did it, waving, so he does it, or I'm sorry, waving. He does it in a chest voice, and it's waving through a window. And I'm sorry if that was very loud. Headphone users beware. I'm very sorry about that. But that, like the waving, so he changes the vowel shape of waving now, because he does waving. He's like waving through a window, and it gives it a bit of a stronger sound. He also kind of tosses his arm out to the side a little bit, which is kind of bringing tension away from the throat, is bringing tension to the arm. That is where most of the tension is being focused. It gives him a little bit less pressure to actually hit that note in his chest voice. Okay, before we get into this next section, which is the when you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash? That little section. Take notice of his breathing technique. He takes they're short breaths, but he has very good breath control. So he's taking in as much air as he can and releasing it almost as slowly as he possibly can. And definitely for this next section, he's really going to need it, because how it gets faster and then it goes into the key change at the end. So just a nice thing to point out.
When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? When you're falling in a forest and there's nobody around, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? Did I even make a sound? Did I even make a sound? It's like I never made a sound. Will I ever make a sound?
That was an amazing change right there. From that heavy chest voice, like, do you ever really crash or even make a sound? Did I even make a sound? Did I even make a sound? It's like I never made a sound. Will I ever make a sound? It's such a quick change. I can't do it as smoothly as he does it, but it is such a nice quick transition from like chest to mixed extremely quickly. And this last, like the key change section, this is probably my favorite, because this is where expanded rib cage like really comes into play. And I'll go into it once we get to that section, but this is my favorite part coming up.
On the outside, always looking in. Will I ever be more than I've always been? 'Cause I'm tapping on the glass.
Okay, again, third time. Now he kept it the same as the second time he did waving. So waving through a window. Ooh. He kept the same waving, but instead of kind of tossing his arm to the side or throwing it out so the tension goes there, his tension still went to his arm, but he actually balled up his fist this time so he could create a bigger form of tension, so to speak. So it could go travel right there in his arm, but he also lifts up his leg as well, which is also causing another like little spot of tension to kind of pull away from the fact that it's like I have to sing this high note in my chest voice, which he does amazingly here. I'm gonna calm myself down listening to this. Wow. With the is anybody waving? I would say now if you're attempting that for the first time, I would add like the teeniest little H. So like, is anybody waving? So just to kind of like help get it up there, so add like a teeny weeny H to kind of help out with that. But when you hear that vibrato sound, he's expanding his rib cage a lot more. And what I mean by that is essentially, I guess to simplify it a little bit, think about like when you were a kid and like you used to like push your stomach out. You're doing that almost while you're singing because you're creating space for air to kind of circulate down there. And I hope I'm explaining this correctly, but just kind of, like getting that nice bit of space down there so you can carry these notes. And that's where a little bit of his vibrato comes from. And he's going to do that with the last, the waving. He's going to do that with those as well. Okay, I paused it for a second because I thought I was going to say something, but then I said no, let me just let him finish it out. So if we go back, actually, and we're gonna mute this as well. So if you're actually watching him, this right here. So when he does the whoa, that, it's almost like he's almost like he's saying wah, just like whoa, oh, okay, and jaw is dropped, which is definitely what you need to do on a high note like that. Toss the arm up in the air, creating tension, bending down to make sure that, there is enough air coming out. And he's also relaxing his tongue as well. Now, I call it, the little phrase I just call it dead tongue, because like you want your tongue as relaxed as possible. So when that body is like that, that is what produces his sound, and he is still doing the expanded rib cage while doing all of this, and it produces just an amazing sound. But yeah, that will actually be it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I mean, just wow. Yeah. My goodness. Like I said before, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will somewhat see you guys in the next video.